Spring. It's when your evaluation team comes back to life after hibernating for the winter, when it's natural in the life cycle of your evaluators to chill out sometimes and then roar back to life with the change of the weather. So I'm going to share with you what some of our routes are for the evaluation. We are deep into the spring summer evaluation cycle. The working group self-assessment is open, as you know. The steering committee survey is open. The various interviews and focus groups that we conduct twice annually, and the focus groups are annual, are going to begin in May, and we are in the process of recruiting and inviting and setting those up. They're all going to be virtual, so there's no need to travel or anything painful like that. The network value survey is something that we conduct, we administer every year, and so that's going to also open up in May or June. And then a huge achievement for all of us and for PeopleKind into the future is the new omnibus consent language that was approved recently by the ICF IRB for both the research and evaluation teams, which will enable us to get consent from new students in the First 2 network when they first apply. It says, look, here are all the sorts of data that we will be collecting. Is this cool with you? If not, you know, opt out. So that is now new, improved, and set up. The second thing I want to share with you are some sprouts. We submitted an article to the American Journal of Evaluation, the foremost journal of evaluation in the United States, about our use of a framework to analyze systems changes that were influenced by the First 2 network and our experiences. It has some reflections on our experiences, what worked, what was difficult, what remained unanswered by the framework. It actually was based on a presentation that we gave last year at the annual American Evaluation Association conference. And so we were like, hey, we could turn this into an article. Anyway, we got the most positive revised resubmit letter from an editor I've ever got in my life, wherein it was written. There are, of course, no guarantees that we will publish it, but we feel very strongly that if you address these 2 comments, we will publish it. And so we will be making those revisions and resubmitting post haste. So that'll be a nice boost for First 2. We also, Kim Cooley got together with some other STEM evaluator types to write an evaluation blog post for the AEA website. I'm not quite sure when that's coming out, but it looks great. Also, but wait, there's more. The Daily Yonder is an online national rural newspaper that was started in about 2008. And I remember when they first showed up on the scene, I was like, those people look cool. And so I got in touch with them and started writing articles for them. And yes, they are very cool. In fact, they are so cool that the guy who started it, Bill Bishop, he's no longer the editor, but he still writes for it occasionally, was on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart to discuss a book that he wrote. And I remember just being absolutely starstruck, like, was he dreamy and smart? Did you kiss him? It was great. He's very wonderful. And the folks at the Daily Yonder and the Center for Rural Strategies, which sort of supports it as well, just do really great work and are true advocates for rural people, places, and efforts. Anyway, I hadn't written for them in a while, but then I've been annoyed again. I think I shared this with the evaluation team, but not maybe you all. There's lots of stuff out there about big urban research practitioner partnerships, for example, and other urban kinds of efforts, but you don't hear much about these important rural efforts. And so I got in touch with the new editor and I said, hey, would you like an article about the First 2 network? And he says, yes, absolutely. So that is, I'm working on it, and I can't tell you when it will be published because they seem to have a pretty good pipeline now of articles, but as soon as it comes out, I will absolutely let you know. And then of course it'll be in my evaluator voice, my friendly advocate voice. So the point is that I want the rural newsletter reading world to understand the importance of this project. And then finally, I really want to celebrate that we had 3 First Two Evaluation podcast episodes on the first2network.org site, produced by our very own Josiah Baker, who has hidden talents for music selection, audio editing. He fixed some very strange vocal issues with the recording somehow. I don't understand magic, but he has it. Anyway, so we're very appreciative. They are now on the First Two Network website. I told you about this earlier, but this is very, very exciting, guys. We are awarding the new Working Group Wonders Award for excellence in response rates for the Working Group self-assessment. This is so awesome, you guys. It is an actual trophy. It is actually arriving at my home tomorrow by FedEx, and we will present it to the winning working group during our session on Monday, May 10th, 2 to 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time at the spring conference for First Two. And it will be awarded to the working group that has the highest percentage of respondents to the working group self-assessment. So you know you want to win it, and then you know you want to keep it, because we're going to do this every time we administer the working group self-assessment. And then finally, we want to hear from you. So imagine, if you will, a time far from now on a planet very like our own. It's September 2023, and you find yourself reading the riveting words of the First Two Network evaluation report, the final evaluation report, the summative evaluation report, comprehensively covering the 5 years of funding and effort. What do you hope that evaluation report will say? Please unmute yourselves and tell me what it is that you, or in chat, whichever you prefer, what you hope for the First Two Network. What will we be able to say? What do you hope we will be able to say? I mean, it's aspirational, but you know, let's be a little realistic too. What would you like to read in it?
I hope that people will have reported, I don't want to give a number on this, but in significant return, that the way they do their work has changed due to being influenced by working with someone in a different institution in this project, and by bringing students closer to the center of their decision making.
I would also say, like, capturing the paradigm shift of the way we do work. Just, you know, being in the First Two Network, it feels very different than being in my department. And, you know, I would like to bring more elements of First Two Network to other spaces, like especially the fishbone diagram and driver diagram I've tried to use in my department, and it has led to some interesting conversations, but kind of getting everyone on board is a different story. But just kind of the methodology seems more sustainable and inclusive, and maybe capturing it, if that is what's happening or not.
Well, thank you all very much. It's helpful for an evaluator to kind of hear what is the vision, what, you know, because you start in one place and then you all grow together and in different ways. And then it's always interesting to kind of revisit, where do we hope we end up at the end of this 5 years? So thank you for sharing those things. Any questions or I don't know, I was going to say worries and concerns, but I hope you don't have any of those about evaluation. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask here and now or any time via email or Pony Express, whatever works for you.
Thank you, Caitlin. And I know that I am inspired by that trophy. It's lovely.
Right? How can you not be? It's so freaking cool.
And so I just wanted to clarify something. Is the steering committee survey a working group survey, or is it a separate thing that would be obvious that it is steering committee?
It is a separate thing. It should be obvious that it's a steering committee survey. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, just between us, that the steering committee survey response rates are response rates we can live with. The working group self-assessment response rates are a little depressed, and we would like to cheer them up. And we think maybe a trophy might help.
And we heard another great idea from Catherine today of having a meeting wherein, I did it, you will have the survey taken post haste, in fact.
Can Caitlin comment on, like, if you're involved in different working groups, how many times are you supposed to take the working group survey? Can you just take it once, or does that make sense? Because
Yes, it does. I think the way that we have it phrased is, choose one that you're most involved with and answer it for that. We have not statistically adjusted, however, for the situation in which members belong to multiple working groups. And so we may need to think about how to balance that when we calculate who the winner is. So thank you for bringing that complicated issue to my attention.
so, but we only need to take it once. That's all. That's my
correct.
key point.
No.
But if you're on the steering, but you have to take something else with steering.
Yes, completely different questions.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I don't remember getting that one.
I gotta say, I
Or
did.
I thought they were the same.
I am right
Okay.
in that same boat. So it might be good to just have Jonavay send a reminder to the steering one.
That actually, Kim Cook is handling it this time.
Okay.
So I will coordinate with her to make sure that she reminds you to please complete it.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much.